Fantastic. I'm recording, so we're good to go. Thank you for joining us. So this call we're going to do together is kind of walk you through a couple things. I'm going to give you a quick summary of what we're going to cover. Actionable steps to reach your goals. Okay. Number two, we're going to help you close more in your store and receive the commissions that you deserve. Okay. Also, we're going to cover expectations when you have downtime in the store. That's a very common thing for our organization. You're not always with a customer. Now, the holidays, you're most likely always with the customer. Well, when you have downtime, what do? We're going to cover that. What are high performers doing to become high performers? Because guess what? The difference between an average performer and super high performance is $5,000 a month. Changing behaviors. Changing behaviors equates to improvements in your life, whether the improvements happen on the floor in the store or happen at home with your wife and kids. I'm going to have to cover some of that with you guys. There we go. We got more light. All right. So actionable steps to reach your goals. Number one, all of us need to have goals. We need to have something that we're striving for. We need to see a destination in which we are walking through on our path to get there. Now, one of the things that I've always learned to do with myself is if I don't use this magical writing instrument and write the things down that I wish to receive in my life, they never become so. When you write things down, they become things in our brains. Everything is equated to what I think. If I tell my mind through written words what I wish to achieve, it's amazing how this process worked. I don't know, nobody knows this, but I grew up in Germany. Every year I'd go visit my folks after high school, and I'd go back for the Christmas holidays, and we'd go skiing. Well, on the plane going to ski, there was no iPad to watch a great new movie. There was no internet to surf. It was me and a pad of paper writing down my hopes and dreams. On a 9-hour flight, I had plenty of time to come up with what I wanted to do. And I would keep this in a journal. And then I would write all these things down, and I would shove it in my journal, and I would forget about it. Until the next year, I'd go on a trip back to Germany. I pull up my little thing, and I'd go and review everything that I accomplished. And there was things on that list that I had absolutely 100% forgot about. It was out of my mind. I'd wrote it out of my mind, but when I wrote it and I'd go back the year later and I would go check, and I would check them off. I would just do them. And it was the act of writing, the act of thinking. What am I wanting to do? Your mind is seeking a way to express itself. And when you tell the mind what to think about and what to plan for, your subconsciously actively works to make things so. It's almost out of your hands at that moment. When you write the goals down, they become so. And you got to believe that is so. It has been for me for a number of years. I make an active practice to writing goals down, and I strongly suggest that you do too. You will never achieve anything on accident. You could say all these things, well, they were lucky, No. People that are getting it done make freaking goals. And I challenge you, if you've never made the active experience of setting goals, find a moment in your day, whether it's the beginning of your day or the end of your day, where you are most zoned in and most focused. Maybe it's after a cup of coffee. Maybe it's after you've woken up. Maybe it's after you've done a run. But take a moment, write down some hopes and dreams. And I'm not saying you're writing down hopes and dreams about all the wonderful things at Absolute Wireless. I'm talking about the personal you person, what those goals are. Because if you have the right personal objectives, I can help complement what you can achieve with the resources you have here at work. Because guess what I got here? I got a money machine. You get to hop in here and play with the money machine. Now, some of us play the money machine in the right way, and some of us do it in the wrong way. The main difference between those who do and those who don't is a mentality of this. I have a segment of my employee population that are renting their time to me. Okay. And I have another segment of my population of people who come and generate tons of value because they know the value they've created. I pay to them based on that value. It's like their own business. And I told you guys this thing. You know, the average performer is around $30,000 a year. High-end performance is 90. Okay. That is a $5,000 a month difference. Someone who's average is renting my time. Hey, Robert, you know, I'd like to go work at your organization. They clock in. They're there. That's great. I really appreciate you being there. And they are pretty much there. Okay. They're kind of going through the motions. They may greet a customer every now and then, but a lot of their effort when they don't have anything to do is on Snapchat, on Facebook. I mean, this thing is 1,000 distractions that will take money out of your account and not put money into your account with distractions. And you got to figure out a way to say, you know what? I'm not renting my time anymore, because that's not what life is like. I mean, listen, your spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever the case, is sacrificing your time away so you can be here with me. And I want you to think of this experience in a different way, and that is creating value. Everything we do here at Absolute Wireless is creating value. How you signify value here is when a customer comes in, you go get that money. You go get that money by greeting the customer at the door. That is the number one thing that your mission here inside Absolute Wireless is, greeting people at the door. When you greet people at the door, they know for 100% certainty that you care about them. When a stranger walks in our store and you stand at attention, you go greet them at the door, and you're right at the door and you shake their hand, say, hey, welcome to Sprint. My name is Robert. How can I help you today? Oh, I'm here to make a bill payment. You know what? You came to the right spot. Have you been here before? Well, what was your name? Oh, Chris. Chris, awesome. You came to the right spot. Again, my name is Robert. Chris, what kind of phone are you using today? Now, everything I do with this customer is using his name. That's called name exchange. It's our second function of our greeting. 90% of the people that are watching me right now, I want you guys to hear what I'm saying. 90% of you that are watching me, because I've done the stats, I've looked at the list that Carmen gave me. 90% of you don't greet at the door and use name exchange in conversation. And I will tell you, fundamentally, the performers, the ones that are selling, are doing these two simple things. And if you could do these two simple things, you would signify to the customer that I'm wanting to create value for you. I know you passed other Sprint stores. I know you passed other Verizon, AT&T stores coming here. And you know what? I care about you, and I care so much about you that I stood and greeted you at the door. And hell, I even know your name because I use it in conversation. Listen, what we are doing, folks, is not rocket science, okay? What we are doing is not magical stuff. These high-performing people aren't way smarter than all of you. It's just a different focus in your day. They're not renting their time. They're creating the value. And I ask you guys, I beg of you, if you look at your checking account and you're unhappy, it's all you. You can change this. You are your own boss. I can't use my energies and make you say and do things you don't want to do. You either do or you don't. And these are just decisions people get to make. You could be zero yesterday. You could have sold Jack last month. You could have done nothing last month. But guess what you can do today? You can do today that you chose not to do yesterday. These are all decisions that I don't say lightly. I just know. Listen, 45, been selling phones for 26 years now. I've done this phone thing. I know what works. I know what doesn't. You can start working here and try to figure this out on your own. And you could either get very, very lucky and accidentally find the right way, or you just listen, take some notes, and just do it. And this money will find its way to land in your checking account. The energy and value you give to customers, the value that turns around into actual revenue back into you. That's how it works. Value is created when a customer comes in for one thing, and because you ask them a lot of questions and you sell them many things. And the value that you create as a result of that one single transaction results into commissions that get deposited into your account almost immediately. Your accessory money, that happens instantaneously as soon as you sell an accessory. All accessories sold up to last Sunday get paid to you on Friday. And the commissions on the boxes and GP that you sell are going to follow in about 30 days. But it's about value. And I can't make you create the value. I can just encourage you and let you know that I'm not lying, folks. When you give someone value, they just want to show their appreciation in buying more from you. I show my appreciation by making sure you get paid. Okay? So actionable steps to reach your goals. Number one, you got to write the goals down. If you are saying that you want to make $50,000 this year, by God, you ain't going to hit it unless you write it down. You ain't going to hit it unless you tell everybody around you, because some of the most important people on your team is the people within your own family. If you vocalize what your goal is to other people, you create accountability with people around you that you've told them you are going to do, and by God, you're going to do it. How many times have you been with someone and you vocalize, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and by God, you did it just because you vocalized, just because other people heard you. You didn't want to hear, oh yeah, that's what you said, but you didn't do it. Dude, everyone doesn't want to be judged on what they could not do, right? So what you can do to really challenge your mental state, vocalize it with other people. Put that out there, put it on a poster, like let everybody know, hell, this is what I want to do. And you put it out there and the universe will actively seek to make that so. It just works that way. You may even go and tell your mom and dad, your aunts and uncles, hey, listen, I want to make more money I've ever made in my life selling Sprint this year. I want to make $50,000. You tell 20 people of your family, guess what? Half dozen of those people are going to buy some phones from you because you said that. People want to see you successful. Now, that doesn't work for everyone. If you got a bunch of loser buddies from high school that ain't doing nothing, by God, don't tell them about you trying to get successful, because they're going to pull you down. And that's one thing that's important to understand about how life is. If you don't have a supportive network around you, you will not be a success in your world. You have to surround yourself with amazing people. And that means we graduate from people. When I graduated high school, I graduated with a bunch of friends because I am moving up in my world. I'm changing things. I'm being a different person than I was yesterday. I'm not saying I don't hang out with those people no more, but listen, I find different people, and that's what we all tend to do. And that's why you should always be seeking people that inspire you to win, that are supportive of you. A lot of people that see their friends that are really close do better than them will subconsciously try to pull you down. You just got to be very careful in this success journey. It's a journey, folks. You'll learn a lot along the way. Now, how to close more sales in your store and receive the commissions that you deserve. If you want to deserve something, you got to do something. You know, there's people that do and people that don't. Now, what do you deserve? All the deserve is about what the value you created. And again, the value is something you feel. The greeting that I keep preaching to you guys is a feeling that I'm trying to get across, because there's something that subconsciously happens when someone shows you attention. We all have been there. When someone's showing you attention, it feels so good. Does it not feel good? Does it just feel good? Have you ever walked into a store and been ignored? Oh my God, it feels so bad. you feel just angry. You're like, oh, why do I feel so angry? It is even a hard emotion to really understand because you're like, why am I so angry? But subconsciously, your subconscious person is telling you the person you're talking to doesn't give a shit about you. When they don't give you eye contact, they don't pay attention to you. Do you know what that feels like? Now you take it on the other side of the equation and they pay attention to you and they say your name out loud. It's like little bitty hugs. So anyway, the value that you create is up to you, and you got to show the customer that you care. You do that through following the 4-step greeting process. If you can follow the 4-step greeting process, you're going to see how to do this. Now, I want to talk about something you guys don't really understand. Number one, yes, we have a 4-step greeting process, but what you don't know, what your close rate is. And I'm going to tell you the secret to discovering how to properly greet your customer is the number one change that you could make today to make more money for you today. Right now is the time in which you put your line in the sand and said, I'm time for me to step over this little line and make money. It's a little thing that you're going to have to go through. And this is your homework. This right here, my friends, is your homework that you're going to do. Now this right here, this is a close sheet. Now, how this works, it's simple. You're not going to understand how to properly greet your customer and understand your close rate until you practice. Now, this is how the greeting process happens for 90% of the people watching me. Customer comes in. Hi, welcome to Sprint. Okay, that I'm telling you, 90% of the transactions, and I know this statistically, I could pull anybody here and actually see a report that back office does specifically watching our transactions. I pay people to watch how you greet people, because people who greet people right are the ones getting paid, and I can show it statistically. And that's why I talk about the greeting process over and over, because when you build rapport with people, they buy more product and they really love you. And I'm wanting you guys to feel loved, because when you feel loved and people are spending money with you, the direct deposits happen. I win and you win and your spouse win. Everyone's a winner and the customer wins. All right. But how you discover your close rate is you got to track it. You got to treat it like you are in band practice. Now, I was a band geek. Okay. Anybody else a band geek? Okay. Well, one of the things in band, I played saxophone, and you could be first chair, second chair, or third chair. Or you could be one of the other people that played saxophone, meaning not as good as the others. If you wanted to get better at playing that instrument, you wanted to be first chair, because first chair meant you get to play all the cool solos and all that stuff. You got all the fame, right? But in order to be first chair, you had to compete and beat the person ahead of you. And how'd you do that? You practice. You practice until you got good at a sheet of music. And the way band worked, if I wanted to beat someone that was in first place, I won in first place. Guess what? I'd have to tell the band director, hey, listen, I want to be first chair. And he said, well, you got to play this piece of music in front of all your friends and see who's best. And guess what? That's how you did. That's how you got ahead. You literally had to go home and practice your instrument. Those that were first, second, and third place weren't there because they were natural born band instrument players. No, it was practice. Practice was the only thing that made you good at it. What I'm showing you here today, when you take a moment and every time a customer comes in your store, you write a little dash mark, right? It's a little bitty dash mark. Every single time a customer comes in, you make a dash. Okay? Anytime you close a sale, you're going to put under the wins category a little dash. Okay? If I talked to 10 people that day and I sold one, what would be my close rate? Don't say it all at once. 10%. There we go. So what you're going to do here is you're going to write Every time you close something, okay, at the end of the day, today is Monday, you're going to put your percentage, right? Imagine for a moment someone came in and they bought 3 phones. That profit is about $1,000. Okay. Now I want you to think about this for a second. Every time I had an opportunity, I earned the company $100. Every time I spoke with an opportunity, I earned more money. Now, the beauty of this is the beauty of what sports have done since the beginning of Name the Sport: keeping score. If you don't keep score, you will never be an achiever in your world. Scorekeeping is how achievers get ahead. If you want to be an achiever, you want to earn more, you want to do better, you got to keep track of your progress. If you ran track and you didn't keep up with your 100-meter, how would you know whether you're progressing at the sport that you're in? How would you compete if you didn't know where you were? So on Tuesday, my mission is to make this number higher. I want to increase my close rate. So what I'm challenging you guys to do is, when you start your week, get this piece of paper. Every time you speak to a customer, you're going to do a dash. Every time you get a win, you're going to do a dash. Now, what you're going to discover, if you pay attention. Now, look at this. I closed 1, but I had 10 people. I'm going to ask myself, when that customer walked out, did I greet the customer? Why didn't they buy something? I said they were going to think about it. You know what the think about it means, right? I don't trust you. That's what I think about. That I'm going to think about it is a nice way of saying, I don't trust you enough. I don't believe you. I'm going somewhere else. I'm just telling you what it is. Sometimes it's legitimate, but it's not very often. Most I'm going to think about it or never coming back. So what went wrong? And that's where you have to be aware of you. Why did that customer not walk out? If you didn't greet right, next time someone comes in, you're going to greet better. If you forgot to do a name exchange, you're going to be aware of these little basic things. If you follow these basic things, you're going to watch your close rate increase. If I increase my close rate 10%, I am doubling my sales. Does that make sense? This close rate is a huge opportunity to really focus and dial in on it. What should happen in the next 30 days of working? When I say 30 days, I know you're off Saturday and Sunday, but I'm saying the next 30 days. Today is December 9th. I would like to see 4 of these pieces of paper filled out, and put your date on, put the date on, put your name on it. Every day, I want you taking a picture of this and send it to me. Now, I look at these. Now, I've had some employees do this, and I've watched their sales completely and utterly change. And what's exciting about that, not that we make more money, but they're going to enjoy their job better when this is not a job. Because that's what a lot of you guys are thinking. A lot of you guys are clocking in. I don't want you clocking in. I want you being here. I want you being alive. I want you to treat this like a game that it is. It's a skill that you learn through this active personal development and analyzing what you are good at and how to be better at it. A lot of you guys, well, I sell phones for small. No, dude, you are selling the most important electronic device on the planet. There is nothing more exciting that you could be selling. Nothing. The things that I can do in my phone blow me away. When I used to knock on doors and sell telephones, I was selling a phone that didn't even have caller ID on it. And I was convincing people they needed a phone just in case they had a car accident and had to call 911. But now, what can you do on the phone? Oh my God, you're talking about thousands of things. You could probably go to school on just YouTube alone and learn anything on the planet all through your phone. I can't even get home at night sometimes because I have to have Uber. So I got to have a phone. That's how I eat. That's how I book when I go exercise. That's how I connect with it. That's how I connect on Marco Polo with everybody. I could not live with what that tool does. This is the most jam-packed, valuable device. Value. Remember I said value? The value is here, folks. You could go to San Francisco and walk on the streets and see homeless people for days, and every damn one of them have a phone. And they have a smartphone. Every single one of them. It is tremendous in the value we give. When you sit with a customer, you're getting their phone set up for the first time, teach them something of value they can use. It would make a huge difference. But you have to track your progress. You are not going to get better at what you do without tracking what you do. You should see that every single day you're pushing that number up. We don't realize the power and where we could go until we challenge ourselves. And you got to challenge yourself. Can you guys do this for me? Listen, I want you to be proud when you get your check. I want you to be showing it off. I want you to look at a check and go, oh my God, I never thought I could make that much money before. You can. You can. I've seen $10,000 checks before. Okay. Those checks are real. Those can happen in just a 30-day period of time. You can be a zero and a hero real quick. It's just a decision. You get to make these decisions. And I challenge you to really focus on this. Now, what I'm asking again, just a reminder, you're going to fill this out every day. You'll take a picture of it and you'll just send me a picture of it. That's all I need. Make it easy peasy. Everything you need is on this piece of paper. I'll email this out for everyone to have. Carmen's collected all your email addresses, so you have this and you'll be able to print this out. Now, what do you do when you have downtime? When you have downtime. Now, we all have downtime. We all have those opportunities in our day where we don't have a customer inside the store. Now, what I'd like to do is just take a little moment and talk about, hold on one second here, and talk about our Facebook leads. Now, some of you have never, ever successfully called a Facebook lead and got a customer to actually buy. Some of you have, some of you haven't. And when I look at someone who's never had a closed sale and I listen to their calls, I will mimic the call and how a lot of those calls happen. Hey, yeah, is this Julie? Julie, this is Robert from Sprint, and yeah, you're on Facebook and said you are you interested in coming in for an appointment? And that's the level of energy that a lot of people have when they make these calls. And I want to challenge you for a moment. Again, let's go back to value. If you are looking to create value, you have to follow a certain way that you treat this call. You have to treat this call like the immense opportunity it is for you to get a sale. And I'm just going to kind of wing how a call would happen if I were to call them. Carmen, if you have a moment, if you could be unmuted, I'm going to call Carmen for a minute. Okay.
I'm ready.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
I'm sorry. What are you doing? What do you want me to do? I was typing.
I'm ringing you.
Okay.
Just answer the phone.
Carmen speaking. Sorry.
Hi, Carmen. Hey, listen, Robert Hartline here, the Sprint store down the street. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Fantastic. Listen, I would be a lot better if I could get you to come into my store tomorrow and see about getting a quote to switch to Sprint.
And why should I do that?
Well, number one, I hope you're having a great day. I was going to tell you, you had filled out some information the other day on Facebook saying you're interested in the iPhone 11.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now, you still on Verizon?
I'm still on Verizon.
All right, Carmen, girl, there's so much money you can save. And I know you need this extra cash for the holidays. And a phone would make a great gift.
So tell me, why should I switch from Verizon to Sprint? How much
Okay.
money am I going to save exactly?
Okay. Excellent. We're on the same page. Listen, I don't know what plan you're on today, but I know when I sit down with my customers each and every day, I'm saving people thousands of dollars. Now, everyone has lots of different plans to choose from, but a lot of people don't understand the value they get from Sprint versus what they're paying elsewhere. How's tomorrow look in your schedule?
Well, I get off from work around 5, and it takes me about an hour to get home. So the earliest I can be there will be probably like, honestly, like 6:15.
You know what, Carmen, that's perfect because I don't leave till 8 and I love to see you.
Do you assure me that you will be there at that time to take care of
Absolutely.
me?
Just for you, Carmen. Now,
Okay.
all right, excellent. You know, if you don't mind, I have your email address, Carmen at you'rerockstar.com. Can I email you there?
Yeah, you can email me there.
Okay,
Um,
fantastic. I'm gonna put this in a calendar event so it shows up in your calendar and also text you. If you got any questions, you can call me back at this number. Again, my name is Robert. Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you.
I appreciate the call.
Now, thank you for doing that exercise with me, Carmen. So when you call these leads, you notice how Carmen tried to get me to give her a quote. No, the goal is not to sell Sprint on the phone. It's just to get her in for an appointment and get a quote. Now, if she were to hesitate, I may have said, well, listen, I know you're a little bit hesitant, but as a gift from me to you for just coming in to see a quote, I'm going to give you a free wireless charger for your device just for coming in for a quote. Now, all of you have this tool in your toolbox to encourage someone to come in and switch to Sprint. Your manager is not going to be bothered if you give away this wireless charger to get someone in. The goal is to get them to come in. Now, if you do the call beautifully and Carmen comes in and you don't expect her there, you don't plan for her to be there, and you don't greet her right, her experience from the phone, awesome call to high energy person, walk into the store, low energy person. We don't need that. You got to be consistent. High energy when they talk to me on the phone and high energy on the floor. But you got to take that time to build your energy up. Listen, the energy that's within me is what creates currency in my checking account. Listen, the reason I have this energy because I know the correlation. Some of you don't know the correlation between high energy and income, high energy and wealth, high energy and wealth. All of that is connected. High energy. If you have high energy, the universe is seeking for a way to express itself to you with that energy. You will become attracted to other people. Other people will be attracted to you. That's what it's all about. It's all a kind of a mind thing. Now you could say, well, I don't know. I don't have the energy. This is how I am. No, I can manufacture energy. Everyone can manufacture energy. Low energy people can have high energy. There's some things you can do with your body to change it. If you feel fearful to make a call, you may need to work on things that you can do to build you up. Now, you guys have seen the Power Pose video and TED Talks. I think they talk about that with you on your new hire. But if you use that Power Pose exercise before you do a call, before you start your shift, you're going to make more money because the energy is all related. You really got to understand that fundamental thing. So a couple other things. We analyzed Muscle Shoals. Why is Muscle Shoals getting so many more closes on their Facebook leads? They ask for the appointment. Other stores are just answering and going through the motions to get the guest off the phone. Does that make sense? My mission, folks, it ain't to sell the phone on the phone. My mission is to get them an appointment to come into the store. Period. Focus on the appointment. They know their promotions. So if you're talking about the iPhone 11 that they filled out a little lead form, now you never call the lead form a lead form of the customer, just so you know. Okay. Never say lead. You don't want to be called a lead. You're not a lead. Okay. Don't ever call a customer a lead. Okay. But they know their promotions. When you're in the Facebook section of Call Proof and you're looking at your things, you can actually see why they applied. And the beauty of looking at why they give you their information, it has the type of phone usually. It also has the name of the carrier. So don't ever ask someone, who's your carrier? Shit, you got it right in front of you. It's like right in there. It says Verizon. Like what else? Don't ask questions you know the answer to. It's right in there. They're friendly and they're not dry. That's another thing. They're friendly. Okay. If you are calling because your boss told you to, stop. Don't do it. Don't do it. Say, I refuse. Just tell your boss I refuse. I ain't calling. You got to do it for the right reason. If you're calling because you want to be successful and you want money in your checking account, that's the reason. If you want to create good value with others and for yourself, then call. If you're doing it because your boss is nagging you, don't. Because I know when you're being prodded, call, and you call and you don't care, and you get that call that I mimicked earlier, it's just a waste of my time and energy, because I do actually make and pay for every time you make a call, I pay like a few pennies. It's just a waste of my money if you're going to do it crappy. And plus it gives us a bad taste in other people's mouths on how we're with people when we call them with no energy. When they call in most shows, they are excited. Again, high energy. And then most importantly, when the customer comes in, they are amazing when they come in. So let's say it's 7 o'clock tomorrow. Carmen just had her big day at work, and I see a girl walk in at 7 o'clock. First thing down out of my mouth, I don't care who it is, whether I think it's her or not. Are you Carmen by any chance? Do you know how amazing that would be if you were like announced their name as they walked in and that you were excited to see, I'm Robert, I'm the guy who talks to you on the phone. Welcome back. Come on. Thanks for coming. Holy cow. The person's going to think you're amazing. And the reason you want them to be amazing is because you're going to have to change the way you think about your job. Many of you guys think that you guys are salespeople, and the high performance people don't look at themselves as salespeople, and you got to look at yourselves as something different. The difference between these two equations, these two right here, salespeople are over here. Sales managers are over here. Each one of you could be a sales manager if you decided. How do I become a sales manager? I become a sales manager by making Carmen think I'm the best thing since sliced bread, giving her tremendous value, understanding her by asking her lots of questions about her world, where she works, what she does, how many kids does she have, where does she travel. I want to understand those things, because if I understand Carmen, I can present Carmen opportunities and understand that, you know what, her daughter may like an iPad for Christmas. You may discover that she may need Sprint Drive because she sometimes has problems with her car. She feels her mechanics are screwing her. Well, guess what? If you have the device in your car, it will tell you what's wrong with your vehicle. And if a mechanic is playing games and trying to mess around with her, thinking she's gullible, this could help her in that situation. So you got to think like a sales manager, because if I get Carmen to like me, when Carmen's with her girlfriends on Friday night and she slaps her brand new phone down on the table and someone says, Carmen, you got a brand new phone. I love that new iPhone 11. How do you like it? Oh, it's awesome. And guess what? Better than that, Robert's the bomb. He's at the West End store. You got to switch to Sprint. Now, one of the things I talk about in that greeting process, and this is something that we're not grading. I don't have the team watching, but if you were to do this, you would make more money. And that is, we greet at the door, we do name exchange, but next thing, Carmen walks in the store. I'm getting her all set up. Right before I go run her credit, I say, Carmen, while my computer's booting up, I wanted to let you know, Sprint has authorized me to give you up to $500 this year. Every time you refer a customer to Sprint, you get $50. And the person who you referred also gets $50. Now, if you don't mind taking a moment and writing 3 people that I could call to find out if I can get them to come in also for a quote. You cool with that, Carmen? Here's a pen and paper while I get you started. Hand it to them. See, the problem that a lot of you face is you are in a store, okay? This is the store, okay? This is a box. A key thing that these people understand that make big money, they understand that their customers are not in here. They are out here. They're outside of the store. My mission is to get a customer to come to me and go outside of the store, outside the box, to get other people to buy the boxes I sell by getting people like Carmen to be my salesperson to bring those sales to me. It's a different mindset. If you're waiting around for a customer to come see you, it ain't going to happen. You need a team of people out in the universe talking about how much value you give them. You got to communicate that with everyone. Anytime I'm talking with a customer, say, listen, just so you know, Carmen, you may not know this, but the way I get a lot of my customers is through word of mouth, and I pay them for that activity. So every time you get a customer to come switch, you get paid. I can pay you up to $500 this year. Hell, it probably pay for your phone and maybe a couple of months of service if you can tell other people about the value of switching to Sprint. Are you cool with that? Listen, you got to think like a sales manager. Listen, if I talk to 10 people a day, maybe they did a bill payment, they bought a case, maybe they bought some phones or whatever, but I'm recruiting these people, okay? And I'm keeping track. Maybe I'm writing these people down on a sheet of paper, and I'm following up. I'm emailing. You're going to find once a week, if you talk to 10 people a day and you follow this strategy, you're going to find that once a week, one of those salespeople is giving you a lead. And next thing you know, you are an appointment only salesperson. We have salespeople that are appointment only because they are so busy. You have to think that way. The world of abundance is all for you for the taking, but you need salespeople to help sell your phones. It's a mindset shift. You get that mind shift down this path, you're going to print money. Would you enjoy an extra $5,000 a month? It's just a question. You don't have to deal with the stress of having the money, but would you enjoy it? Some people would, some people won't, but it's a decision that you get to make. Now, I've covered a lot of things, but what I want to make sure you guys understand, all the tools that are in place for you. You guys have a ton of experienced people that are willing to help you, okay? The most precious thing you have when you start your day is your level of energy. If you're out to 2, 3 in the morning last night and you come into work, you're going to struggle today because you don't have enough energy. You got to treat your world as you are a precious person, meaning you have to get good rest. You have to have good exercise. You got to eat right, and you're going to have all the opportunities to excel in your world. But you got to be focused on making sure you're at optimum health, meaning try to eat healthy, and you're going to see your energy level be able to maintain the high performance that you need to win. So I encourage all of you to think about health when you're not at work and how everything's relating. If you're going to want to stay up till 2 in the morning, understand there's a consequence. Understand that if you're going to write some goals down, your hopes and dreams and what you want to achieve, you got to understand there's a cause and effect to everything you do. So, accessories. Now, a lot of you aren't selling accessories. And a lot of you, when I ask you, how come you're not selling? Oh, they're getting it from Amazon. They're getting it somewhere else. I promise you, if you buy a phone in Smyrna, you're walking out with an accessory. I 100% promise you that's the case, because they do a fantastic job on selling accessories. You can sell accessories through storytelling. Okay. If you build rapport with someone, they will most likely buy accessories. But if they somehow say no, then have something prepared to say when they say no, meaning you practice. Now, one story I love to use is the fear of loss story. And how I do that story is, listen, understand this customer, he's got a brand new device. When they take that phone out of the box and they put in their hand, there is a magical thing that happens to them. They get excited. I've never seen anybody open up a new phone box and go, oh, another phone, this stinks. No, everybody gets excited. You get a little like a butterfly in your belly. You like it. It's fun. You get a new phone. It's exciting. Like sharing that excitement with them. Listen, Carmen, I know you said you're not interested in getting a case for me today, but listen, and number one, I really appreciate you coming in. But number two, I would feel awful if while you're getting into your car, getting your keys out of your purse, you dropped your phone on the ground and it landed on that itty bitty pebble and you shattered your screen. I would feel so bad. I would feel like, I would just like feel awful. Listen, I got a couple of options for you. Here's some. Listen, anybody been to Jamaica before? Well, if you ever go to Jamaica, they have the best salespeople on planet Earth. Like they are like pros. And you know what they do? Their whole skill is this: product in hand. Okay? This is my remote. I don't know why I picked that up, but they put it in your hand. And there's something subconscious that happens when you hand someone a case in their hand. When they touch it, if you can take it out of the case without damaging the case, the packaging, that's great. So you put it in their hand, they get excited. So when you get those objections, tell the story. I would feel awfully bad if your brand new phone that costs $1,400, you shattered it. I know you got the insurance and all, but there's a deductible and it's a lot of hassle. And plus you want to show this new phone off. And if you had a cracked screen, you would be upset. Listen, I have some options for you. If you have problems selling the case or some accessory and price is the problem and you don't call, no opportunity wasted, you are the problem. Listen, we'll make deals happen. Get on the phone, get on No One Walks hotline, and we are there to help close these deals for you. They have the ability to do discounting when discounting is needed, but don't discount the discount. Again, when you sell value to a customer, they will buy from you when they feel valued. Okay. So selling accessories, a large part of your money, I'm telling you, is a big piece of the puzzle. I mean, I'm stroking $800 checks all the time for big fat accessory weeks when people are selling accessories. But when you don't sell the accessories, you don't get the reward of that. It's important to note. Anybody here have a chargeback before? I know you do. We all have them from time to time. Chargeback happens when you sold nothing with the device. You got to create the value. When they get a phone, it's on their bill. It's not the same as when they walk in and pay with money to get an accessory as well. They attribute more value to that phone when they buy the accessories. So I ask you guys, you got to pitch accessories. There's lots of different strategies. Now I told you a strategy when they say no. Before I got to no, I would give them a couple of options and put it in their hands. Okay. Put it in their hands so they can touch and feel it. Make sure you talk about the liquid glass and all those other things. Real salespeople don't get psyched when they sell 4 devices and no accessories. That should be a sad day for you because you should be selling some real product with that. Okay. I know I covered a lot and I know I'm coming up to my time, but I did leave 8 minutes for some questions that you guys may have if you have any. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. Ask away if you have one. Nothing? You guys are going to just crush it. So I'm going to email this. At the end of your shift every day, you're going to email this to me directly. I am going to hold you accountable. And this is what I'm going to know. I'm going to know that when you send this to me at night, you're committed. When you send this tonight, you care. When you send this tonight, this is a signal, folks. I'm looking for a signal. Who's bought in? Who's here? Who's committed? This is a signal. When you send this to me, you are raising the flag. I'm committed. I'm staking my ground. I want to hit my goals. I want to be successful. You're staking the flag when you send this to me. This is a signal. Just as much as the signal is doing nothing. Just doing nothing is just as important of a signal. And I hope I get a good signal from you guys. I hope to see you guys crush it. Guys, understand, this is the month where all the money is made. This is the month of the year where all the money is made from now until the end of the year. Get bought in, get excited. If you guys haven't yet downloaded, we have an app for you guys. You guys can download today. You can reach out to Jeffrey in your email, jeffrey.bond. He may have sent an email earlier about joining the beta program. We have an app. If you install it on your phone, it will tell you who of your friends have AT&T, have Verizon, have T-Mobile, and you can help text those friends and family about the promotions, get them to come in, get them to switch, and you're going to start using your skills to create value and make a lot of money. Guys, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day.